Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. I am sorry for being so sweaty. I just got back from working out on this beautiful Friday afternoon, this championship Friday. Our ladies, Texas in three, game three tonight, Women's College World Series. Hopefully, the Texas softball team will get it done tonight. But as you guys are checking in, tapping in, make sure you hit that like button. We're doing a quick live right before the game. I came here right from working out, so I was just like, I gotta jump on here with y'all. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by August 30th, so make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Trying to get to 15K. It's free to show love. Appreciate you guys so very much. Go ladies, beat tech. D Money can't get money. What's up, Quentin? What's up, Alan? What's up, Ike? Hook 'em, hook 'em, hook 'em. Y'all, the doubters are out here in droves, right? Questioning what we've already done, and we about to do it again, right? Can Texas reload? Can Texas still be that contender? We're actually looking to break through, right? And I mean, objectively, when you look at our roster, I don't see how you are questioning whether or not we're at minimum a top five team when you look at the rest of college football. See, the question always gets asked of Texas, but at the end of the day, it's as much about us as it is who we're playing and what that 12 game slate looks like, as well as what do the other teams look like. Okay. The first team we're playing, the reigning national champions, are replacing just as many people as we are. They had hella draft picks. They're breaking in a new quarterback. They're actually breaking in new coaches, right? Like, do we not have questions there? Is Georgia not reloading? Is Alabama not starting a new quarterback this season and looking to reload? Certain parts of their team. I mean, tell me somebody who's coming back that, yeah, you may have your starting quarterback coming back or certain elements of what you were last year of a really good team. Notre Dame's going to be starting a redshirt freshman at quarterback on top of some of the guys that they sent to the league that were really good football players. Do we expect them to reload? Their win loss over under, I believe, is 10.5 this season. And their schedule to me is harder than it was last season. So if you're asking the questions of Texas, make sure you're asking that of everybody. That's all I'm saying. Because there's a lot of teams reloading. We can go down the list, right? Like of what folks have lost. We just talked about Georgia and Texas. They were uh, in they were in the SEC championship game, right? Which teams? Like, who are you talking about? Which teams have continuity on their side? Which teams are you talking about? I could have swore Penn State lost Abdul Carter. I expect Penn State to be very, very good, but let's not act like they didn't lose some really good talent as well. Now, I do expect them to be better in their pass game and all those type of things. The Ohio States of the world, I don't call continuity, in my opinion, when you have a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator, a new quarterback, and you're also replacing 13, 14 NFL draft picks. How come they're getting the benefit of the doubt of continuity with you, Ike, and we're not? That's my question. That's just confusing to me. We have the same play caller and the same defense coordinator, as far as I'm concerned, and we have a quarterback that's coming back that's actually started football games last year. We have the only returning 1,000-yard rusher in the SEC. We're returning a defense that has arguably an All-American at every level of the defense. The people that we brought in the portal top notch in terms of filling holes. So, yeah, you're giving the benefit of the doubt to Ryan Day, but that's not answering my question. Ike, you're not answering the question. Just because Sark has been producing talent the last couple of years, right? Like Kirby Smart has been producing talent, but they are year over year. Ohio State is there's a lot of new faces that they're going to be playing next season. That's what I'm saying. So I agree. I mean, Ryan Day is an excellent coach. I have no doubt in my mind Ohio State's going to be as good as they normally are. But there's a lot of new faces and new coaches. To me, they're replacing more than we are. We have more proven folks. Net. Ike, my question is from 2024 to 2025, they are in the how are they not in the same boat as us? Your point is you're just going to give Ryan Day the benefit of the doubt over Sark. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. He just broke through, by the way. He just broke through and won the national championship, by the way. But if we're in JS is this is the point here. Bingo. Texas is actually the most recent team that has shown that they can reload year over year, taking that big of a hit. Ohio State has not taken they have not taken this is a big hit. They didn't take that hit from 2023 to 2024. They had a lot of those people were from that Quinn Ewers 2021 class, right? The Jack Sawyers of the world, a lot of those kids, the Travion Hendersons, Emeka, a lot of those kids were in the 2021 class, just like Georgia's 2018 class. And to me, Texas is that's how I look at kind of how I look at Texas's 2023 class. Anthony Hill, Arch, guys like that are supposed to start taking over. So, yeah, I mean, Ryan Day is a proven winner, great record, but he is having to replace a lot on top of replacing coaches. Let's not just dismiss that, right? And again, are we counting on a whole bunch of inexperienced guys to replace the folks? We're talking about adding a tight end. Let's start with the tight end, Jack injuries. The tight end is replacing a tight end who we had questions about, not we, but people had questions about, I don't know how they're going to replace Jatavian Sanders. I don't know how they're going to replace, because Gunnar Helm hadn't been featured yet. Doesn't mean it had nothing to do whether he was ready or not. He just had not had the opportunity to be featured yet. Once he was featured, he's an NFL guy too. And then we're bringing in a tight end who was a freshman All-American and has been very productive. Look at his numbers. Question is just how many opportunities he's going to get in this offense. But it's not a question of can he play and can he do what we need him to do. And in some cases, depending on how you really feel about the player, there may be some things that he can do a little bit better than his predecessor. Who knows? I was told last year we were going to really miss AD Mitchell. It was going to hurt, blah, blah, blah. And people weren't ready to realize that Matthew Golden was going to be a first-round pick. But I knew we got a good football player out the portal. That the thing is, we have to evolve our mindset. This is the kind of conversation I was having on Twitter, or the conversation I noticed on Twitter with College Football Nerds. Shout out to CFB Nerds, Sky to the channel, great folks. Love what they're doing over there. But they were asking questions about Texas, and this is the same thing that Billy Lucci's been talking about, right? Questioning whether or not Texas can continue to bounce back from those hits. But my thing is, there to me, they're living in the old mindset of just looking at recruiting to plug those holes. And do you have NFL players? And yes, Texas is recruiting. Are you recruiting at the Georgia, Alabama level in the mid 2010s? I'd say we're probably a notch below that. We're close in terms of prep recruiting, but the difference is the transfer portal. Texas has been fantastic in the transfer portal. Texas has been fantastic, really, in the NIL era where you can leverage resources and get what you need to plug your holes, especially post spring. Texas has been nailing that, absolutely nailing that. Proof is in the record last 2 years. Proof is in the games you've been playing in, how deep in the season you've been getting. It doesn't matter what people have to say, it's just the result. You can't argue with the facts. You're arguing against something they are currently doing and have been doing. You're coupling the number one recruiting class, right? I think they were number one. 2025 class was number one class. 2024 was number six, and that was a small class because of the scholarship allotments. It was a small class. 2023 number one class. So, like I said, they've been recruiting kind of right there. I'd say notch below, but then you're adding the portal. We win the portal and got a first round pick in Matthew Golden. That wasn't happening in the 2010s. Georgia couldn't just go and do that. That wasn't happening like that. You had transfers. Yeah, you had people getting, Cam Newton and guys like that. I'm not saying it was foreign, so to speak, but the way that we reload, that we utilize the portal now in terms of teams, we are in a completely different era of football. That methodology of thinking, oh, well, if they're not year over year just stacking classes, then there's no way they can reload. That's a falsehood. Especially when you're factoring in the ability to develop players and the reputation that you've had developing those players because of your NFL accolades, which now stretch over the last three drafts. The last two drafts, you've had 23 people drafted. So yeah, people like LaVon Johnson and the Shaws of the world, Nicole Brevards, and the Jack Indries and the Emmett Mosleys of the world want to be a part of that. It's no different than the previous group. Now, at some point, yeah, things, you're going to get a bad beat, right? Somebody else is going to wake up, injuries, anything can happen. But Texas has been so deep that they've even fought off the injury thing. Are we forgetting that our starting quarterback's been injured every year since Stark has been here? Like literally missed time. There has not been Sark has been here, has coached 4 seasons. All 4 seasons, his starting quarterback has missed time. That's a fact. We lost both tackles at one point last year that have had injuries. And we kept the party going because of depth and people were ready to play. Which is my point with the tight end before. That's my point with Jatavian Sanders and Gunnar Helm. Because of our schedule. I thought we were in the SEC. Are we still doing the schedule thing? Also, Longhorn Football Editors, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Donations. Thank you so much. I was rolling, so I didn't even get a chance to comment on this. But Are we still doing the schedule thing? I thought the SEC was supposed to be this gauntlet. Y'all cannot tell me, quick rant, do not miss me with the schedule bullshit if you don't want to play 9 games. Y'all keep telling me y'all don't want to play 9 conference games, but then you want to sit over here and tell me we play a weak schedule and we have Ohio State in the non-con. Excuse me? Because you guys are contradicting yourselves. You got people out here. I saw AJ McCarron and Trent Richardson's podcast. They sounded like scared money. They were like, "Oh no, we can't play 9 games. Can't play 9 SEC games. This conference is just this conference is brutal. Blah blah blah." But now I'm told we have a weak schedule. That doesn't make sense. If 8 of your conference games are weak, then you're not as strong a conference as you think you are. Pick one. Either the SEC is a gauntlet, and everybody's playing a gauntlet. On top of, I don't see anybody else scheduling Ohio State like that, like we are. We're going to Ohio State. We went to Michigan last year, by the way. Back-to-back years we're playing the reigning national champions in non-con. Then we play our 8 games in the SEC. Pick one. Because if half the conference is weak, then you're not as good you're not a gauntlet. If half the conference is weak, you're not a gauntlet. Y'all cannot have it both ways. You can't sit up here and tell me that the SEC that our schedule's weak, but then the SEC is a gauntlet and we don't want to play 9 games. That's my energy. If our schedule is so weak, then let's play 9 games. Because at that point, how can you continue to say that the whole thing is weak? So if we play 9 games, that's still not enough. We're still pick one. Pick a struggle, because y'all are not consistent in your argument. I was told when we came over here from the Big 12 that this was supposed to be a gauntlet. Were Texas fans in the chat, were you guys told the same thing? I was told it was supposed to be a gauntlet. See, this energy is like this. Y'all mad as shit because we made it to the SEC championship game our first year in the conference and made it look like light work. Just because we made it look like light work doesn't mean it was easy work. Just because we made it look like it was light work doesn't mean it was easy work. Because if some of y'all have the same common opponents that you were losing to. Vanderbilt. Common opponents. But we have an easy schedule. But Vanderbilt taking out the state of Alabama. That don't make no sense. Lies been told. Somebody's lying. Congratulations, Anthony. Congratulations. He passed his CPA exam, spreading the good vibes. Hook 'em, brother. Congratulations. Proud of you. That's some good news heading into the weekend. Good news heading into the weekend. I was told that this conference was a gauntlet. What is your definition of gauntlet? You can't just conveniently say, well, you guys played none of the good teams, but then some of the teams we were beating, y'all lost to. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? The schedule was weak. Look, well then so if you're saying that, then John, if you're saying this, then you're acknowledging that the SEC is not as good as they say it is. Then it's not a tough conference. It's not a tough conference. Can't have it both ways. I was told top to bottom this league was a gauntlet. We played 8 games and y'all are sitting up here telling me that we played an easy schedule. No, we made it look easy. There's a difference. Y'all lost to fucking Auburn with your season on the line. Stop it. They won, what, 4 games? Stop it. I don't have time to talk to bums when y'all losing 4 fucking games in the middle of at the end of the season when the money's really on the table. You really want to have that conversation? Stop it. The gauntlet is LSU, but LSU lost to A&M, a team that we whooped their ass. So which one is it? Bama lost to y'all. We beat y'all by a million. What are we talking about? Y'all didn't even score a touchdown against us. And y'all whooped Bama's ass. How's that a gauntlet? Is Nick Saban here? Hmm? By the way, quick question. Who was the last coach in the SEC to beat Saban? Pop quiz. Who was the last coach in the SEC to beat Saban that currently plays in the SEC right now? Pop quiz. I want to see who's going to be the first one to answer correctly. Longhorn Football Edits. Thank you again for the super chat. They already trying to diminish the future. I told you. I told y'all a couple weeks ago this was what was going to happen. Thank you for the donations, by the way. Donations. I told y'all a few weeks ago, if we beat Ohio State, and let's say it looks a little bit like it, however it looks, they will immediately move the goalposts. Ohio State's not that good. It's an off year for them. They will immediately move the goalposts. Immediately. It was doom and gloom heading into that Michigan game, even though we all saw Michigan struggle like hell against Fresno State the week before. Couldn't throw the football at all. Thank you. John don't want to answer that question. Who was the last coach of the SEC to beat Saban? But y'all want to tell me that they in the gauntlet. But we were the last. Were we not the team that went to Tuscaloosa and beat them by 10 points on their own field? A team that nobody else in the SEC beat that season other than Texas, who was in the woe is me Big 12. We're just here to talk facts. Okay? We're just here to talk facts. Now, Kalen DeBoer is a very good coach. I believe he will be a great coach at Alabama one day. That is yet to be proven, though. So how can you consider Alabama part of the gauntlet when he didn't even win 10 games last year? Does y'all telling me we got to prove it, but then you're giving the free pass to somebody else. Giving the free pass to LSU. LSU hasn't won their first game, has won an opener since before COVID. Damn sure since Brian Kelly been there. Since they haven't since Coach O was there. But they're a gauntlet. Okay. It's a fact that you played the bottom half of the standings except for Georgia. So you're admitting you're a bottom. That's what you just admitted because your own team is a bottom. Okay. If y'all are saying half the conference is weak, then listen to what you're saying about the SEC. I don't want to ever hear the word gauntlet again. Yeah, John just told us he's a bottom. Those are his words, not mine. You told on your own self. Look, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. John told on himself. I didn't say that. He said that. The same people that got You got your ass whooped in your own field and you want to talk about the schedule. That's crazy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, I think Texas is Herman. Did Vanderbilt, who did Vanderbilt beat last year? Didn't they beat Alabama? Didn't they beat Auburn? Didn't Kentucky beat Ole Miss? What are we doing? When Kentucky beat Ole Miss, I heard any given Saturday in the SEC. I swear to you. When Kentucky beat Ole Miss, I heard, man, this league, man, these teams, they tough. This league. But we beat Kentucky. It's Kentucky. Mm, mm. Vandy owns the state of Alabama right now. What are we doing? Lies, lies continue to get told, and we are here to document it. Lies continue to get told. That's crazy. That's crazy. Are do I so you honestly think Kentucky and Vanderbilt are good football programs? Well, they were good enough to beat Alabama and Ole Miss. Are Alabama and Ole Miss good football programs? How come they didn't beat them? You're not going to win your way out of this argument, sir. Y'all continue to dribble yourselves into a trap. If they so bad, how did they beat those teams? Hmm? Which one is it? If you're saying that they stink, then the other teams stink too. Right. Kentucky lost to Georgia by yes. Freaking dog fight. Thank you, Amin. Thank you, brother. It is a Ponzi scheme. It's crazy. It's 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 a bunch of Bernie Madoffs in this league, man. It's crazy. Con men speaking out of both sides of their mouth. It's crazy. Where are we at? There's no way out of this argument because if you're so hard bodied on these teams stink, then your conference ain't what you think it is. And Texas proved that by walking into the conference and being an overtime away from winning the whole damn thing in their first year. Texas proved that by going 7-1 in conference play right off rip. It, which one is it? Texas proved that by being the last team to beat Bama, and we weren't even in the conference. But none of y'all beat them. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's fun to get this energy out before the Natty tonight. We've had a wonderful year overall in the SEC. We really have. It's been a marvelous first year. Couldn't have gone better. It's gone swimmingly. Well, it could have gone better. We could have won the SEC championship the first year if we didn't get in our own way with the kicking situation, but that's neither here nor there. But it's gone great. It's been a great first year. Top tier program. Thank you, sir. Pick one. There's only one. There's only one. John, can you tell me what was the result of the number one ranked Texas A&M softball Aggies? How'd they wrap up? Where are they at? Brother, you don't want to talk softball here. Okay. How did A&M fare in the postseason? Number one ranked A&M. I don't know a whole lot. I could have swore something historical happened to y'all. Something that never happened before. But if you wanna Limu Emu. What's that meme from ATL? I know that ain't who I think it is. I know that ain't who I think it is. God bless you, John. I appreciate your consistency to the struggle. I appreciate you being here on time, helping this channel. The entertainment value is peak when you're here. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I really, really do. I hope everything's well with you. In all seriousness. The SEC is top heavy like every other conference out there. So then it's not a gauntlet. That's not a gauntlet means any given Saturday, no matter who you're playing in the conference, you can get got. That's a gauntlet. A gauntlet was what the SEC was in basketball. That's a gauntlet. If you're saying it's just top heavy and there's only like 3 or 4 good teams and everybody else stinks in a 16 team league, right? Then what are we saying? Hmm? D Money can't get money. Appreciate the donations. Other fans are just scared because we have a better quarterback running our offense. Probably going to have a top 5 defense. We took care of our special teams in the portal. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. My God. What y'all talk about? Talk about nothing. What y'all talk about? Talk about nothing. I love it here. I love it here. Hey, I appreciate you, D Money. Can't get money. Oh, man. They said Texas was Drianez. It's not enough. We are here on the West Coast now. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Oh, man. Redmayne, no, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. My point is more so for the folks. I'm not disagreeing with you. I got to think a little bit more on that. Where I'm more so coming from is the folks that continue to tell me that this conference is a gauntlet. That's where I'm coming from. Just want to clarify. So, if we are top heavy, how are we not considered at the top of that heat based on records and postseason production? I do believe we were the last SEC team standing in the postseason as well. Go Lady Softball. Let's get that dub tonight. Let's get that dub tonight. Quentin, donations. Donations. Let's talk some actual football because this has been fun. This has been fun. This is it's Friday banter, having some fun, talking some trash. Um, it's been fun. It's been fun. But one thing I was thinking about is what type of game? So let's focus on Q1. Q1 is Ohio State, right? The way I've broken down the schedule, if you're new here, break the schedule into 4 quarters. First quarter is Ohio State. Second quarter is essentially the month of September, the G5s. Third quarter is where we're going to be essentially road warriors. We're away from home uh, all of October into November. And then November is, the back end where you got to handle stuff against two big rivals like Arkansas and Texas A&M, which you both get at home later in the season. Plus, you got to go to Georgia. So that's Q4. When I'm focusing on Q1, Ohio State game, I do believe, and hear me when I say this, okay? Because I've been really thinking about this right now. I do believe our offense is going to be much improved this season overall, especially when we look at the metrics at the end of the year, when we look at things like red zone efficiency, when we look at things like explosive plays, especially explosive plays for touchdowns. Just overall scoring. I do think we have the potential to be a better, even with the 4 new offensive linemen, even with the new receivers, with the new quarterback. I can see that vision there. With that being said, I do think that the game, in terms of the game that will be played in Columbus on August 30th, not only do I think Texas can win, but I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think we are going to go into that game defensive minded, especially knowing that you're going to have 3 games to tune up after that and really, really get things cranking. But when you're going on the road and we're playing in a hostile environment, but we're also playing a quarterback who's going to be playing football for his first time with an offensive coordinator who's going to be calling plays for his first time. I think you go into that environment and you lean on your defense and you lean on your run game to get going. And I do think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I don't know. I don't even know if they have the over unders in terms of points right now. But whatever it is, I'd probably go under for that game. Just because it's the first game. And I think I think Texas has a massive advantage with the defense that they're going to be bringing in there, especially with Ohio State also bringing a new offensive line. I think we're going to lean heavily on the defense to start the season. But don't get it twisted. By the time SEC play ramps up and we go to Florida, I think we will be a completely different offense by that point. I'm not saying the offense is going to be bad against Ohio State. It's not even my point. But I think you're going to be very, playing complementary, looking to lean on the defense to win that game and to control the game, right? Managing turnovers, managing time of possession, things of that sort. To me, that's especially if you know your special teams is going to be much improved this year. That's kind of how I see that first game play out. Because some of these games early in the season can be really weird. I mentioned earlier LSU has lost every opener that they've played under BK, and one of the things that you've seen is just with them. Now that's not us, that's them. But in an opener, and this goes back when I was growing up, even watching, um, back when Miami and Florida State started doing that thing where they were opening with each other every year. They were doing each other opening with each other every year for a while, and those games were always sloppy offensively. Regardless of who the quarterbacks were, what they ended up getting to offensively, those games were normally pretty defensive type games, um, where things just weren't running all the way full go just yet. Um, I'm not saying we're going to be disorganized mess or anything like that. I'm just saying I think you are going to go into that game. It's Arch's first road start. You're going to be mindful of that. I do think you're going to really try to establish your run game. So just things to think about. Like, I wouldn't be like, to me, you get out of that game and you win something like 20-13 and hold them, be efficient. I'll take it. That's a dub at Ohio State. I'll take it. It doesn't have to be sexy. First game. There's a lot we're going to, especially, that's going to be the first time any of us have seen this team live fire bullets, this group. So we got to be mindful of that. Same thing on the Ohio State side. But just something telling me that I think this is going to be, I think Anthony Hill and them are going to be moving at a completely different speed than what Mr. Sand is used to seeing so far on a football field. Not to say that he's not going to be a very good quarterback. Ryan Day has really never put out any bad quarterback play. The worst he's had is Kyle McCord, who's NFL quarterback. Think about that. That was the worst they've ever had at quarterback under Ryan Day. But it's going to be his first game. So I just think you're really going to be looking to lean in defensively. And I think that, one of the things I was encouraged by hearing in the spring was Arch managing the game or his turnovers and his stuff, interceptions seemed to be down. It seemed to be like he was really controlling and managing a lot of those things. And there's times where you're going to have to go into a football game and be an absolute playmaker. And there's times where you're going to go into a football game and it's like, you know what? We probably going to start off more in a game management mindset because we don't need to be out here with the advantage we potentially have on defense. It's kind of like the A&M game. Like once we got up, we knew we weren't. And there was a certain point in that game where it was like, I don't know if A&M offensively is going to be able to score. And then when they did get down there, we had the goal line stand. But you knew pretty early in that game after we stopped their first drive, A&M's not going to be able to move the ball up and down the field on this defense. No. So why inherit risk on offense? Yeah, Ohio State only had 21 points on offense in the Cotton Bowl. And that was with everybody. What are we doing? Light up the scoreboard. Yeah, they had 21 points on offense. What are we doing? Again, this isn't Facebook, man. Let's talk facts. We're living in reality over here. This is not Facebook. They scored 21 points on offense. That's a good point, too. This is a good point, too. We about to get back to what the game is meant to be, like Sark said. Tired of these old heads in the sport. There's still a few of them hanging around, but it's not. I agree with this. It's not like it was. We're about to get back to what this sport was before COVID, where it's a younger man's game. No, they had 21 on offense. Herman Walker, what lies have I told today on this live? Please tell me. What lies have I told? Please tell me what lies have I told? What have I said that is not factual on this live? Please tell me. Was I inaccurate by saying Sark was the last person to beat Saban? That Coaches in the SEC. Was that wrong? Did that hurt somebody's feelings? You guys nailed the pop quiz, by the way. No more fifth-year QBs lighting up our secondary anymore. Yeah, the Max Duggins and then 45-year-old lineman at TCU. Those days are gone, buddy. Those days are gone. Pavi is the old head, right? Like if we look at the SEC quarterbacks right now, Nuss is an old head. Um, Now he wasn't necessarily a COVID quarterback. I think Nuss's freshman year was 2021. I'm just thinking through all like Sellers. Sellers is young. Lagway's young. Tennessee's gonna have Joey Aguilar at quarterback. Okay. Blake Shapen's an old head, but he stinks. Zach Calzada's an old head, but he's at Kentucky. Mateer's not an old head. Mateer's in that range. Arch has been there since 2023. I mean, we can keep going, right? Ole Miss is starting Austin Simmons. Austin Simmons is what 18 because he skipped some grades. How old is Austin Simmons? I think he's going to be like 18 or 19. He's young. Ty Simpson. How old is Ty Simpson? Ty Simpson's been at Bama for a few years, but I don't think he's a COVID. He's not. Yeah, he's not like Cam Rising or Casey Thompson from the 2018 class. But Ty Simpson's been around for a little bit. He hasn't played. Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton's on the younger side. Was Gunnar Stockton what 22 or 23 class, somewhere around there, right? Like, so they're not old heads. Arkansas QB Taylor Green, Marcel Reed is 2023 class with Arch from A&M. Calzada's been in college since 2019. Say it ain't so. There's no way. How does he still have eligibility? It's because they said that no, he didn't. He went to Incarnate Word. Hold on. Oh shit! You're right. You're right, dude. Calzada has been at. Calzada has been at. Was at A&M in 2019. Wow. So there's still some people lingering around, but it's not. I don't see it in. Where you had like, and sometimes that backfired on people. Do we? Let us not forget Oklahoma State, who was in the Big 12 championship game, played us, right? In 2023, returned their entire offensive line. Everybody came back for 24, plus Alan Bowman's old ass, who played with Drew Henson and Tom Brady at Michigan. That's how old he is. And you had Ollie Gordon. And they were ass. Oklahoma State was ass. Unmitigated buckets of ass with old heads. I remember one year when Iowa State returned like 96% of their players, including Brock. I just got paid Purdy. And they won like 7 games. So interesting. Hold on. Is Florida? Hold on. Okay, so let's unpack this. I already debunked Kentucky because they beat Ole Miss. I noticed you didn't put Vanderbilt here, so you removed them. So you have one, two, three, four teams here. Why'd you leave out the other four? Why'd you only put four teams here? Also, was Florida bad? How come they started playing everybody tough? How come everybody likes Florida this year? Was Florida bad? Or did we just whoop their ass? I know they didn't. Now, they took the week off against us. I will admit that. They didn't play any of their guys. Because the Georgia game, when Lagway had his hamstring and all that. So the Florida situation is a one off. But how come you didn't put the other SEC teams here? How come you didn't put OU here? Did OU win four SEC conference games last year? How come you didn't put A&M in here? I'm just trying to see something. Yeah, we lost to Georgia twice. Second time we lost in overtime. It's a pretty competitive game, I'd say. We did. Yes, Kentucky beat Ole Miss. They keep leaving parts out conveniently. Who were Arkansas's three wins against, by the way, in the SEC? And who did Florida beat? I'm trying to see something here because I don't remember Arkansas' schedule like that. But that's what SEC people are used to doing, and this is the behavior. They like to hide against the big teams like Georgia or Alabama. They will hide behind those teams and ignore their own teams and ignore the rest of the conference. Bunch of weight bullies. I never denied that we lost to Georgia. That has never denied that. So that's my question. How are y'all losing to teams that are supposedly weak? Florida had four wins in the SEC against who? If they're weak, how are they 500 in the SEC? It can't, like, come on. Chili, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you, Chili. It's good to see you here though, brother. I hope you're well. How you doing? Good to see you. Chili, how much y'all gonna handle your business against Clemson? Y'all the big night game on August 30th. Y'all going to the other Death Valley, you gonna handle your business, Chili? I'm looking forward to seeing LSU this year. I think y'all gonna be really good. I really do. You got my little bro Cade Durham toting the rock now. Think y'all gonna be real strong. But people were hiding behind LSU in 2019. I do remember that. I do remember that energy. I do remember that energy. Damn it, I meant to bring up Arkansas' schedule. I keep getting distracted. All right, who did Arkansas play? They had to have beaten somebody if they were 3-5 in the SEC. So let's do this. And I'm about to wrap up here because it's 7 o'clock and I want to go watch the softball game. But so Arkansas went 7-6 last year. So they beat Auburn. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This says here that Arkansas beat Tennessee? Herman, come back here. Arkansas beat Tennessee? Hey, y'all want to say wait a minute. You had Arkansas on your list that was weak, but it says they beat Tennessee 19-14. Which one is it? You told me that Arkansas was weak. You said that. We talk about the SEC. Why are you bringing up Big 12 teams? We talk about the SEC. Arkansas beat Tennessee. That's one of the wins. Wow. Wow. How'd that happen? He also had Florida on his list. Wow. So is Tennessee weak? Do they suck because they lost to Arkansas? Shame on us for handling our business. Shame on us. Shame on us. Herman, you said Arkansas wasn't good. How'd they beat Tennessee? Is the conference good or not? I appreciate you guys. Herman, it's all fun and games. We argue, we talking ball here. I appreciate you. Make sure you come back. Shame on the SEC for giving us. I love Herman. Come back, please. This is fun. I'm glad to see my boy Chili in here. I will get JB. All of a sudden there's a bottom. Nah, he's coming back. I got them on speed dial. We got to get those brothers back on here. But we will have a guest next Tuesday, right? So I'll announce that. I'll have that ready for you guys on Sunday service. But it's been real fun. Appreciate y'all, guy. Scary, spooky, and hilarious. This was fun. This was fun. Y'all really make my day. Now y'all just cracking jokes. Y'all just in here cracking jokes. This has been fun. I appreciate everybody tapping in. It's free to show love. Make sure you subscribe. Trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by Texas Ohio State, August 30th. It's free to show love. Help a brother out. Horns always up. Go get it done, ladies. Go get it done. Hook 'em.